In my video titled Concepts of Successful Day Trading, I mentioned there are other income streams I use to augment my trading, and that these other methods actually improve my trading by allowing me to respect my rules by keeping me from being overly invested in my trading performance. In this video, I am going to cover one of the most accessible alternate income methods, which is focus groups. First, I am going to cover why two forms of income aren't enough, especially if those two forms of income are your day job and trading. Then I will explain what focus groups are, share the process on how they work, and lastly discuss how to integrate focus groups into your life. Most of the people who watch trading videos, including those on my own channel, are not consistently profitable traders. If you're watching this, then you are probably a losing trader, which means you are likely familiar with this story. You take some losing trades one day, go on tilt, and then give back all your gains for the week as you try to trade your way back to green. After you're finally able to stop trading, you tell yourself that if you had just stuck to your rules, you would be profitable. You tell yourself you're not going to make the same mistakes again. Yet you do. You keep making the same mistakes from month to month. The reason why you continue to fail is because you never address the root psychological problem, which is that you are not diversified enough in your sources of income, and are therefore too invested in your trading account. You tell yourself that one day you will be a wealthy, consistently profitable trader, and that is when you will trade small and diversify your income sources. But what if the reason you can't become that trader is because you aren't doing what the successful traders are doing right now? It is no coincidence that many of the top traders, especially those who have been trading personal accounts for years long before prop firms existed, have other sources of income such as real estate investments. This allows them to trade small and also respect their daily loss limit because they are already hedged with other money-making methods. The purpose of this video is to showcase one of those other money-making methods, which is participating in focus groups. If you've ever wondered where corporations, universities, and even the government get their data from, it is usually from surveys and focus groups. What you may not know is that the latter often offers a generous incentive to those who fit the target audience and are willing to participate. It is not uncommon to get $50 or more per hour spent. And the best part is that the compensation is often tax-free, because the compensation is usually a virtual gift card worth less than $600. Part of the reason most people do not participate in focus groups is because they don't know how to get involved. In the next slide, I will cover the 5-part process that most focus groups follow. Participation in focus groups typically starts with signing up for a site that specializes in research surveys. You can think of these as online bulletin boards. After signing up, you can browse screening surveys and fill out the ones you think you are a good fit for. When you get accepted by a survey, you usually get an email with information on how and where to participate. Then you participate and get your compensation afterward, though sometimes the compensation can take up to 2 weeks to arrive. I go into more detail on each of these in the following slides. The first step to getting started with focus groups is to sign up for the sites where surveys get posted. I have listed many of them here, but we have a more comprehensive list in our Discord. See the pinned comment for the invite link. Most sites require you to fill out your profile after you sign up. Filling out your profile can take as long as an hour per site, but it is the most important step to make this income stream work, and only needs to be done once. Most users who sign up for these sites do not spend the time to adequately fill out their profile information, and incorrectly assume that the key to getting into studies is filling out surveys they think they are a good fit for. The truth is that the screening survey is only half of the equation, since most researchers are also looking for members in certain demographics. Some sites will even compare your survey answers to your profile information. So if your profile is incomplete, then you might be excluded from consideration for having answers that do not match your profile. The other benefit to filling out your profile is that you can subscribe to email invites for surveys the site thinks you are a good fit for. Remember, it is generally a waste of time to fill out surveys for studies that are not looking for people like you, so taking the time up front to fill out your profile is crucial. After you have set up your profile on these sites, you will be able to apply for studies by filling out screening surveys. These typically take a few minutes to complete, and are a way for the researcher to learn if you are a good fit for the study or not. I'd like to remind you again that you must have your profile filled out on these sites because many of them will compare your answers on the screening surveys to your profile information. If your profile is not filled out, then you can be ruled out as a mismatch, even if your survey answers are exactly what the researcher is looking for. I am emphasizing this because the majority of users who sign up for these sites do not fill out their profile information and assume that all they need to get into these studies is to fill out the screening surveys. As for the surveys themselves, my most important tip is to only apply for studies that you believe you are a good fit for. For example, it is a waste of time to apply for a laundry detergent study if you have not tried several brands and have an opinion on each. There are other tips and statistics for screening surveys that are shared in our Discord server, but this is the most important one for maximizing your efficiency in this income method. See the pinned comment for a link to our Discord server if you want to learn more. After qualifying for a study, you will receive an email with further instructions. It is important to read the email thoroughly to understand when and where to participate. Many studies also require you to sign a consent form or send in a redacted photo ID in order to verify your identity. There isn't much more to say about the acceptance email. Just be sure to read it fully and follow all the instructions. In my experience, there are two main kinds of study participation: a single live or group interview hosted over a video conference, or an at-home study involving an app or physical product that takes place over the course of a couple weeks. The at-home studies tend to pay more since they require a longer-term commitment. They also tend to compensate based on how consistently you are able to test the product, so there can be consequences for missing a day or two. Again, be sure to read the acceptance email to understand the full details of the study. After completing the study, you will receive your compensation as outlined in the acceptance email. This often comes in the form of virtual gift cards for the shorter studies, whereas the longer-term studies will often send a physical card in the mail that has to be activated using personal information, since the compensation is much greater. In most cases, focus group compensation does not have to be reported to the IRS, since most of them pay less than $600. But if you do get into a study that pays more, be aware that you will need to report it as income and send in a quarterly payment voucher, since it is not automatically being withheld. Note that this is not financial or tax advice. You should consult with your accountant for more information. Now that you understand how focus groups work, I'd like to talk about how to integrate them into your trading. Explaining it like this is a bit weird, because trading is just one form of income I have, and not my sole focus. Whereas many of you aspiring traders have decided to go all in on trading as a means to achieve financial freedom. Changing that mentality is the most important part of becoming successful. You are likely to fail as a trader, as long as you are staking your dream on only one source of income. It is my highest recommendation to not wait until you are wealthy and have a big trading account before you diversify your income streams and trade small. If you've been trading the market for some time, then you know that the market is always tempting you to put on a trade. It will take years to develop the emotional control needed to trade effectively. I strongly believe you can accelerate the process by having enough sources of income so that you are not overly invested in your trading account. Focus groups are one of those alternate forms of income that can be used to compound your overall wealth over time. Browsing and applying for surveys can be done while you are waiting for the market to form one of your setups. For example, I personally like to take setups around key levels, so if the market is not near one of those levels, then it is generally bad for my psychology to continue staring at the chart, rather than setting an alert, and then doing some work for another income stream, such as applying to focus groups. If you are serious about compounding your wealth slowly through a variety of different income methods, then I invite you to join our community, where we share tips on how to use focus groups and other methods of income. Many members are already earning money through focus groups and improving their trading at the same time. See the pinned comment below for the invite link. Even if you decide not to join our community anytime soon, I have made this video comprehensive enough for you to start utilizing focus groups effectively. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you. and I wish you the best in your journey to wealth.